Scientists estimate that about 70% of planet Earth is covered by the sea and the remaining 30% by land. But over the last century, what seems to be a tug of war between the sea and land has seen the latter lose vast grounds. Since the 1960s, the sea has expanded its base across the world by an average of 3 millimeters each year, a situation attributable to climate change and global warming.
The rise in sea level is basically as a result of global warming, and this global warming are melting the ice, the glaciers. So ice at the poles are melting, and these melted ice swell up the volume of water in the ocean. So once the volume of water in the ocean is swelled up, obviously the sea level is going to rise. Again, sea level rise could also be explained by increasing molecular activities as a result of sea surface temperature increasing. So that also increases the water level in the ocean.
In this edition of Hotline, I take you on a tour to some coastal communities to hear how this phenomenon has destroyed the lives of many who are now climate refugees, victims of the phenomenon of climate change. 7% of Ghana's total land area lies along the coast and is home to about 5 million persons. 24 coastal communities have been identified as hotspots that this phenomenon has caused major destruction to. Some have been permanently submerged by the sea. Bokbobo, a community in the Keta municipality of the Volta region, is one such community.
This is where Bokbobo community is located as far back as 2002. There's a satellite imagery showing the Bokbobo community. Then in 2010, the community is now detached.
All of those other land areas have been submerged, and this is what is left of it?
Yes, so this is what is left of the community. Okay, and because the community is detached, it is now, allowing, or the system is now, or the situation is such that erosion has increased in that area. And then in 2013, look at what is remaining of the Bokbobo community. This is what is left there, showing that a lot has happened between this short period.
Bokbobo used to be a key, vibrant coastal town, unique for being the land area that separated the River Volta and the Atlantic Ocean. Bokbobo was a beautiful tourist site. But today, the homes that used to be here have all been swallowed. They are deep under the sea. What we see here is what has now become the estuary, where the sea meets the River Volta. Previously, it was never like this. The community is seen in the background. Bokbobo is the community that begins the Volta region when you're coming from the Adan area. Previously, it was a community with a population of more than 50 households, and the numbers there ran into the 500s. But over the last 10 years, the community has actually been swept away by the sea. A lot of the houses are gone. Now what you see there is the household of just one person who continues to live there, and the entire population have been forced to migrate from here after their houses were submerged in the sea. This particular area used to be a whole polling station, but now when you look on the map of Ghana, the community is no more and the polling station is no more.
All this place, the whole land from here to Bokbobo, you can see opposite over there. Because formerly it was a whole lot you can walk from Puvama to Bokbobo, but right now the sea has washed away of the land and you cannot move from Puvama to Bokbobo unless you take a boat to cross over there. This thing started year 2003. The sea has started washing this portion of the land. I can see this a place over here, there's a hotel over here, but all submerged into the sea.
One other community on the brink of extinction is Fuveme. Fuveme used to share boundary with Pokpobo until the latter was submerged.
This is Fuveme. Now, this is a satellite image of Fuveme in 2013. Now, what you see here is a school in Fuveme. And this is the distance, or this was the distance of the school from the shoreline in 2013. Now, just last Saturday on the 6th of February, we went back to Fuveme, and then we took a drone, we flew a drone to take pictures there. This is the same school in Fuveme, but now look at the distance of the school from the shoreline. It tells you that the school is now, or the sea has moved very close to the school.
At this rate, in the next 3 years, if care is not taken, the school itself may be submerged.
Absolutely, because this, we are looking at 3-year interval. You know, this is 2013 and this is 2016. So 2013, 2016, look at the level of destruction that has occurred in Fuveme. Now, again, if you look at this area, we used to have a lot of buildings here. But then where are these buildings now? If you look at 2016, all these buildings are now in the sea.
Okay, so where those buildings used to be have all been taken over by the sea. Absolutely. And now the buildings are they've virtually been submerged.
They've been submerged. So the buildings are gone. You know, people in those buildings are now displaced. And it's now a huge problem there.
And looking at it, more like 20, 30 houses there that most likely were affected by this. Just looking at the pictures and images.
Yes, just looking at the pictures, you could see that we've lost a lot of buildings here. And somebody I met last Saturday told me he lost his 5-bedroom house here.
Over the last 30 years, the sea has expanded by about 400 meters into this community, swallowing more than 150 homes. In the latest incident last February, 30 houses were submerged after violent tides battered the community.
That night, the town is very, very floody. You can see with your naked eye. The sea carry every people. The sea enter every people's house. They have destroyed so many houses within 3 days. A lot of people are deep asleep before the thing happens in the night. So when the thing happens, before the people realize that so many properties have been destroyed, the fishermen nets have been carried away by the sea. Some boats have also been carried away. The women too, their poultries, that's chickens, ducks, and so on, are also carried away by the sea. The houses are far away in the sea over there. So many houses are far away. About 100 houses, if I'm not mistaken. About 100 houses are far away over there. So the one left here are just few.
More than 200 persons were rendered homeless in the latest incident. While some have relocated from the community, others now reside with family and friends whose homes here could equally be swept by the sea anytime soon. Others live in makeshift wooden structures. I come to visit Judith, a primary school teacher in one of such makeshift structures. This structure has served as a home for the past 2 weeks.
At first, I was in a building of a block, which is 2 bedroom with a veranda and then a kitchen. I was there before the sea came and washed away my everything within 1 night. Then I lost my house. I don't know where to go. I just patching with a friend there over there where mosquito and then the environment was very bad to my health. So I have decided to rush and find something to do, something like what you are seeing over here, to patch here for some time. So I was very, very disturbed. I don't know what to do as at now. I'm not within myself because the place is not safe. Look at the bush and then the forest over here. The mice and then the animals, they are there. We are fighting with my food, my bed. So the living was very, very tough for me. In fact, I don't know what to do. Even I lost some of my property and money. So look at where I'm sleeping. Sleeping on this dirty floor like this. So in fact, I don't know what to do. I don't even know what to say. So we are pleading.
So this structure that you live in now, built with palm frond, describe it more to us.
Look at this thing, the toilet, the bathroom I'm having over there. I use a piece of cloth covering it so when the wind is blowing out, it can get off easily. So I want to be late, or I wake up down to bath before the day. This thing I will wait until the night fall deeply so that no one will be in there before I will take my bath. And then the structure too, the same thing I use as my bedroom, my kitchen, my storeroom, my everything is that make the mice and the other things. Even the snakes, they too come because the place is not safe.
I visit another makeshift structure here. It's built of aluminium roofing sheets and wood. Frank Kofiga, a well-built former worker with the Ghana Tourist Board, now lives here. He lost his 8-bedroom self-contained house in the latest sea surge.
Cement building, 5 self-contained, then 3 others, plus an outer kitchen. Yeah.
Should have sunk a lot of money into a building like that, didn't you?
We sunk a lot of money into that because it wasn't my work alone. My nieces, my cousins, and all the, we've adopted this village as our second home. So we did all those things.
On the night that the situation really got out of hand, how chaotic or otherwise was it for you, the people?
I had a sound sleep. Then all of a sudden, the noise. So the only thing I did was to look for my passport. What is the passport? What am I doing with the passport? I didn't know how to pick. Everything went away.
All over this community, there's a lot of anger. Anger not only targeted at nature for treating them so unfairly, but also against government for not doing enough to help them. Take 50-year-old fisherwoman Essie Babosa, for example. In the early 2000s, her first home, a 4-bedroom brick compound house she built after many years of struggle, was swallowed by the sea. She bought another piece of land not far from where she lost her first house to the sea and managed to build a new house about 5 years ago. That too was swept away in 2016. Now her children sleep in the open at night.
This is my third house, which the sea has come to wash away. It's a very troubling issue. Now we don't have anywhere to sleep.
The community is now vulnerable. The people here live in fear every day over which chain of houses would be submerged next. The Keta Municipal Security Council met following the loss of houses in February 2016 and took a decision to relocate the residents to ensure their safety.
So last week, the executive committee met of the assembly and we took a decision. A 7-member committee was put up to look at resettlement issues. So a land was identified. We asked them to look for the owners of that land and they'll negotiate. Because it's a temporary issue, because we are looking at a permanent solution to the problem. So we are expecting them 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they should bring us a report. It is our hope that by early next month, we should find a way of resettling the people.
The plan did not even get off the paper on which it was drawn. The residents kicked against the move to relocate them. This is the ancestral land. They are demanding the construction of a sea defense wall rather.
We are fisher folks and we are living here. They are saying that we should go and settle at different places. We can't go to any place. We cannot survive over there. We live along the sea. So when you go to any other place, we can't survive over there. Sea defense, that's the best solution about the situation. That's the only solution government can do about this situation.
Experts, however, believe the approach adopted by the Security Council is the better option, considering how expensive it is to construct a sea defense wall.
It's a natural phenomenon. Government cannot control the tide. It cannot control the level of the sea. If it is going to overrun, it will overrun. As I've pointed out, sea defense is not cheap. It's not something that happens overnight. So you can die with your pride. And NADMO will come in and save those who did not perish. And if you want to stay there again, there will be another flood, and more people will die, and more people will die, until we will ask, who are we saving left? You cannot beat nature. It's not possible. We cannot do it.
But political expediency had its way at the expense of common sense. The agitations by the people of Fiveme caught national attention following another tidal wave battering in April 2016. Water Resources, Works and Housing Minister Dr. Kweku Ajiman-Mensah visited the community and assured them there would be no need to relocate them because government is ready to construct the sea defense walls.
The government, through the Ministry of Water Resources, Works and Housing, is implementing a lot of coastal protection works. You can talk about Adan Sea Defense, you can talk about Adjoa, you can talk about Kotompo, you can talk about New Takrade. And in the Volta region, we've just completed the Toko Anyanui Jita Sea Defense project at a cost of $60 million. At the moment, we are implementing the Blekuso Sea Defense project at a cost of $41 million. Now, the president is concerned about what happened 2 days ago here. And he has instructed that we should take this project as on emergency basis. That is, extend the Atoko Anyanui Jita project to cover this area. So we've started engaging the contractor. We're also talking to the Ministry of Finance because this one is an emergency. It is presidential directive. So we are going to do something for these communities.
Whilst the people brood over the pain of losing their homes and resist relocation, Volta Regional Minister Helen Ntoso wants a national debate on whether such communities should be protected using sea defense walls or be moved.
You can help solve it in a way, but not completely. This is a tidal wave, and it is a perennial problem. It happens almost every year. The only thing we can do is to build a sea defense wall, which government is doing. If we want to, continue building the sea defense wall, it means we've got to go a long way,
Do we have the requisite investment to do that?
The resources, the money is what we have to look at. Let's compare building the sea defense wall all over the communities that have been affected or resettling. And I will not draw a conclusion either to continue with the sea defense wall or relocating.
Let me take you to the heart of the Keta township itself.
Keta by 1910, as you can see this map over here, it shows how Keta was before the sea destroyed. So this is the sea section, where the sea was. And then this is where the sea is now. This is where the sea is now. So the sea destroyed, these are the buildings you can see over here. So the sea destroyed all these houses up to this point, including the fort. You can see where the fort is. So half of the fort have been taken by the sea. So these are all houses surrounding. These are the remaining houses that you can see over here, where we are now. So 3/4 of the town is in the sea. And this half of the Keta we are seeing today.
More than 2/3 of the Keta township is now part of the sea, completely submerged over the last half-century. Municipal Chief Executive Sylvester Tonyeva is worried about destruction caused to homes and business activities.
Actually, what we see now as Keta is just a pale shadow of itself. We all know in the 50s, 40s, Keta even served as a capital of Volta region. It was a highly popular area, and there was a harbor in Keta where companies like GB Olivant, UAC, and others settled in Keta, and they were doing breeze business. Our parents even told us that Keta was so popular that people from Kumasi, the north, were doing business in that area. So what we came to see in Keta today is just a pale shadow of itself. God, the sea has actually caused havoc to the area, and we are yet to recover from that.
As Assembly member for the Keta Central Electoral Area, James Oklu explains several key infrastructure, including colonial relics, have been lost to the sea.
There was a lot of coconut plantations along the coast over here, and there was a lot of buildings over here. You have the building put up by the colonial masters, like the Kita London Park, the UAC, the Bartholomew, John Holt, Kita Zion, Kita EP, all have been submerged by the sea. All those buildings were submerged by the sea. So right now, the sea, as you can see, is near to the fort. But formerly, it was 5 miles to 6 miles away from the fort.
Keta is safer today following the construction of an 8.4-kilometer sea defense wall here, which cost government more than $80 million. Trenches of up to 10 meters were filled with rocks, linings were placed on them, and then larger rocks placed on these to create defense walls against the raging sea. Professor Chris Gordon of the University of Ghana warns this approach is not sustainable.
There's nothing wrong with a seawall properly designed in such a way that the ecosystem's functions of the area are maintained. But, and there's a big but there, it costs money. Now, let me put that into perspective. There's some seawalls which have been built around, or sea defense, I should say properly sea defense. The one at Sakumono is 1.2 kilometers. It's 100 million Ghana cedis per kilometer. There's one in that same area between Atoko and Ananui, 2.5 kilometers, 34 million US dollars for 2.5 kilometers. So if you're going to protect the shoreline with sea defense of the Keta area, the 60 kilometers, you're talking about 1 billion. Again, if you look at the Keta district projection for 2016 budget, the entire budget for the whole district for all the activities is around 8 million, i.e. $2 million, approximately. That $2 million can do 150 meters of sea defense, about a football field. Yeah, and you're thinking about education in the district, health in the district, road infrastructure, farmer extension services, all of those things will be consumed in 100 meters. So you have to put things in priority.
Communities like Blekusu in the Ketch South constituency are bearing the brunt of the defenses raised at Keta now. Blekusu is gradually going under the sea.
Well, this community is called Blekusu. It's in the Ketu South district of the Volta region. It's one of the communities that's really been battered as a result of the rise in the sea level. The residents have just been explaining to me that there had been residents and also houses located as far as where you can see that boat in the sea. And all along that area till this area where we're standing now, there used to be houses located. But over the last 15, 20 years, the sea has been approaching, and the result is that all the houses that used to exist there, hundreds of them have been washed into the sea. Let's get some better understanding of how exactly this community has suffered as a result of the sea rising in its levels. The assembly member for the area is joining us for a quick conversation. What's your name?
Please, my name is Clemens Agbote.
Okay, you're the assembly member for the Blekusu electoral area. Yes. Tell us about how this community has suffered as a result of the increasing level of the sea.
Oh, seriously speaking, I can say that around 1960s that way, this sea erosion has begun, and it has caused a lot of devastation of the houses that were close to the sea. And as at now, about 10 years ago, it's like most of the houses were now into the sea, about 2 kilometers away from the houses that you can see at my back.
And there are more stories of loss and destruction. This woman, a trader here, has a family of 17. They used to live in a 5-bedroom house, which has now been completely submerged.
The one we have there is a 3-bedroom chamber and hall. And the store is also attached to it, and the KVIP and the other as ancillary to the house. And there was a wall around the house. All of those houses and the wall has now been destroyed.
Several parts of Blekusu are without electricity now after most electrical poles were washed away by the sea.
Because of the tidal wave sea erosion, most of the electricity poles that we have along the coast has been removed because they are into the sea. So as at now, most of the community members who are along the coast doesn't have lights in their houses. A lot more fishermen, when they get the fish, they store in their fridges. But because there's no light in some parts of the houses, they can't operate their refrigerators and some other things anymore. So it has really affected business in the community.
The question then arises, what are the available options for salvaging these communities from the jaws of the rising sea?
What we need is an early warning system which will tell people that you are likely to be flooded tonight. So we don't wait for people to die before we then throw our arms up. And we can also tell people that this land that you are building on, because of its elevation, because of its positioning, it is likely to be flooded 4 times in a year. Are you sure you want to build here? And let people have the information for them to make their choices. So again, we have to look at this in long-term, holistically, and with priorities based on objective scientific criteria. But if we go into this emotionally, we will spend and spend and spend to the detriment of other areas of development.
What we hear in all these communities are cries for help. Not just to save property, but human life from an ocean expanding ceaselessly. For Hotline, my name is Joseph Opoku Gakpo.